Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon where you are around the world. For me, it is morning, 8:05 Eastern Standard Time, AM, on the northwest side of Detroit. And I'm grateful for being here another day, for making the wake up list on this terrific Thursday. And I have been talking to various uh, persons about setting intentions and tracking your intentions to see if what you begin to say aligns with what you are doing. Setting an intention. I'm going to be checking in with a few folks this morning to see if the intention they set last week is something that is happening. You can make your intentions manifest by setting them. When I say set them, think on them. What are your intentions? Write them down and then speak them every day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get the promotion that's being offered to 10 candidates. I'm going to be candidate number one of their choice in 30 days. I'm going to get increase my client base by 10% in 3 weeks. Whatever the intention is, right? I am going to dot dot dot. And then you track it every 7 days to see if your actions begin to align with what you are saying, because something is not congruent if what you're saying doesn't align with what you're doing. And so I am helping people to set intentions around their doing. And yesterday we talked a lot about being, right? And connecting with your being before you start doing, because that's the transformative work of being in this earth school, being alive, being with reasonable faculties, being. And today, part of that being for me has connected me to some doing. Being one of God's children, being present, makes me so grateful that I have been able to be present in a special relationship, in a special way. That being wasn't of my doing, but I'm so glad it is a being present. Sometimes your very presence is what someone else needs. Sometimes your very presence of mind is what you need when you're getting ready to do something. You're getting ready to solve a problem, comfort someone, help someone. When you're getting ready to plan something, having a presence of mind that you are in this world with purpose, and that you're in this world with gifts, and in this world with graces, to be present of that, to be aware of that, to wake up and say, yep, I'm present, I'm responding. You remember when we were in school, or at least I remember being in school, and among the many teachers that I had, I remember Mrs. Donahue. Mrs. Donahue was this kind of jazzy, I will say seasoned woman at that time, who seemed to have all of the respect of the other teachers, younger or older. And she had a way about her that was just, she stands out among my elementary school teachers. And Mrs. Donahue would take the attendance, and I would say present, and she would just smile. She had a way about her. She was one of the few elementary teachers that I remember calling the role the way that she did. She called it in such a way that made you feel important and special. And I never forgot that. And I would always stay present. And so I'm present today. And I have someone present with me today, this morning. And I'm very grateful that she is here. Good
Good
morning.
morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I know this is a little bit early for you, but I'm talking about being present. And I am so excited that you are here with me. And for those of you that are watching or and will watch on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitch TV or Facebook Live, this is Autumn Nicole Davis. Put Holmes in there, who is my beautiful niece, who was like a daughter to me. And I was saying earlier, Autumn, that my presence wasn't my doing, it was God's doing. Um, how He allowed me to be present for you and you to be present for me has been a gift. It is something for which I am grateful for. Autumn's mother passed away when she was younger, and I've been fortunate enough to step up a little bit and be, as I'm telling her now, be a guide. I think sometimes she would rather me be more active in some ways than others than I've been, but she is an amazing young lady who I am so proud of and who is shaking and getting awake. But I'm so proud of her for all that she has accomplished, from a little girl, the little girl that I used to put on my chest and she would say, poo, poo, to who is now going to be a 20-something-year-old woman heading to Thurgood Marshall School of Law in just a few weeks. And I wanted you to see her so that you will help to support her through the purchase of the Gratefulness Journey every day. And so I'm talking every morning, Autumn, about the Gratefulness Journey every day. And so I think I'm going to start with first saying congratulations. I think I've said that, but I'm going to say it
Thank
again.
you.
Congratulations. Since you were a little girl, I can always remember you saying that you wanted to be an attorney. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it's like to now, finally have gotten the acceptance to the school that you want to? And what is that like for you now? What's that like?
Um, Now getting the acceptance was like amazing. To know that my hard work is finally paying off. It feels good to know that like I am making the girl that the little girl I used to be proud of the woman that I am now. It's like looking back in retrospect, like this is who I wanted to become, and I'm taking the steps to get there, or I'm getting there. So I'm accomplishing one of her goals, and that was to go to law school. And then I'll accomplish another one of her goals, and that'll be to earn my Juris Doctorate degree. And then another goal will be to pass the bar and finally become an attorney. So to be taking those steps and almost be there, and I like can see it on the horizon, is truly amazing.
Tru- Truly amazing. Truly amazing. And again, congratulations. So, taking these steps, it must not have always been easy. How did you keep going and taking these steps to get where you are today?
No, I mean, yeah, it wasn't always easy. I think I just kept my eyes on the prize. I knew I was capable of it. I had people in my corner like you, um, to like just keep me pushing and not give up. I think it really became hard during the pandemic, um, because I finished undergrad in the pandemic, and the way that I always saw it going was, oh, I'm gonna go straight into law school. Some people call it KJD, kindergarten through earning your Juris Doctorate degree. And so that's what I thought I would be, but it wasn't. So I think that was the hardest time, where I really had to sit with myself and say, okay, your plan isn't always gonna be your plan. Like it might you might have to construct a different plan or come up with a different route, or kind of accept that God's plan might be better than my own. Um, so I really had to sit and wait almost 3 years for my dream to happen. So it was a little difficult, but I trusted God. I prayed. I still never gave up. I studied for the LSAT. Um, I talked to friends. I made connections with people who were like, "Yeah, I didn't go straight in either," and like just hearing their experience and letting that like inspire and empower me is how I kept going.
I think that's amazing. And I remember that time during the pandemic. I was so proud of you. I think it was your senior year when the pandemic happened, and having to stay focused during the pandemic and take classes online and not being able to, really be in class. I remember that being a tough time, but you are resilient. And I'm so proud of that resilience showing up in you during, a tough time for us all. I mean, the future was so uncertain. We didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know what was going to happen. And making it through that, looking back now, do you feel like I'm stronger? Do you feel stronger having gone through that? Or how do you feel about that, having gone through that time of pandemic?
I don't know that I feel stronger, just more experienced, but I don't necessarily
Okay.
associate that with strength. Like, I survived it,
Mhm.
but I didn't do I didn't do anything different than everyone else or experienced something super different than everyone else during the pandemic, in my opinion. So
Mhm.
it's not like I started a huge business during like, or kept a huge business going during the pandemic. I studied, I did what my other friends and students were doing during that time. Um, so I experienced the pandemic, and kept going like many of the other people around me. So I guess that just kind of gave me a different perspective about it all.
Yeah, I think it's tough, I think, Autumn, going through that pandemic. And you're right, you would have just kept going like most people. But thinking of all of the losses that happened and all of the things around us, and still having the presence of mind, because I think there would have been a lot of people that would have gone through it, that they're now kind of unearthing some of the impacts to their mental health and wellness. And so I think there is something to be said for being able to come navigate through it and come on the other side. And that just makes me even more proud. I think one of your favorite scriptures is, He knows the plans He has for us, right?
Hmm.
Um, and what are your plans? I know you're going down to Thurgood Marshall School of Law. And what do you hope what do you hope to gain, being in Texas and going to an historically Black um, college and university, which I know has been part of your plan all along? Uncle wanted you to have the top 10 school kind of experience, and I don't think you could have chosen a better school for Thurgood Marshall, the Thurgood Marshall. I mean, I don't think you could have chosen a better school. But what is Autumn's plan, and how did it take you to Thurgood Marshall?
That is a big question. Let me try to break that down. So to answer the first part of the question, which I guess would
Okay.
be, what are my plans?
Mhm.
Um, my plans are to leave in July to go down to Houston, to make the necessary connections. I'm already partly doing that. I've talked to people who have graduated this year from Thurgood, people who graduated during the pandemic from Thurgood, and people who are currently there now. So, like, two L's, three L's, and one L's. So people that might have just experienced their first year in law school and kind of like picking their brain, and making those connections. My other plan is just to do well in my first semester. And I mean, I know a lot of people say that, like, oh, I want to do well. But like, I really want to be top 10% of my class. So, like, focusing on my studies and getting away from distractions is my main goal. I think my plan is to be more disciplined than I ever been in my life before, because I know that's what it's going to take to accomplish that. Law school is super competitive. So to say I want to be in the top 10% is just going to take a different kind of grind, um, which I'm fully prepared for. And I'm trying to pick people's brain as much as possible to figure out how to get there. Um, and to also be involved. During my undergraduate career, I was super involved in organizations on campus, leading organizations on campus, and I want to kind of keep that up. So I do want to be disciplined in my studies and primarily focus on that, but I never want to leave my community behind either, while also chasing my scholastic dreams and goals. Um, so I think joining the Black Law Student Association or being a part of the Student Bar Association, and seeing if during my 2L or 3L year, being a part of their executive board, is one of my goals or plans. Um, yeah, so that's my plans.
I
Go.
love it. I love it. It seems that you have some great target milestones in the plan. And I know that you are setting intentions. You're saying you're writing these things down, speaking them out every day, and moving your actions to align with them, which it sounds like you've already started with your 1Ls, 2Ls, 3Ls. Thank you for all of that terminology. And meeting those people, see what it took to be in the top 10% of your class. You said it's super competitive. Do you see yourself competing against yourself? Is that your biggest competitor?
Yes, yes. One of my biggest competitors is myself. Just because I'm competing against who I used to be. Like I said before, it's gonna take more discipline than I've ever had to do before. So law school is nothing like undergraduate. And so it's competing against that mindset that I've had from undergraduate of this is what worked for me, and having to leave that behind and figuring out something totally new or tweaking what I already know about myself, and kind of using that to prepare for what's coming next.
I love that. What do you already know about yourself?
I know that I need to take breaks during studying. I can't study for 5 hours straight. I have to break it up, and I have to kind of do a reward system with myself where, like, I give myself a treat after X amount of pages, or I reward myself with a fruit snack on a page so that I will keep going, taking mental breaks, or I know that I like to read, but I'd like to be interested in what I'm reading. And if I'm not, highlighting helps. I know that I like to note take when reading, um, but I have to be conscious about what notes I may feel are important versus what a professor, or a test, what on a test might be important.
Okay,
Um,
I love that. Tell me a little bit. We're talking to Autumn Nicole Davis, who is making me uber proud. I'm already uber proud, but she is heading to law school at the Thurgood Marshall School of Law in Texas, a historically Black law school, and of course, named after the Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. And I am so excited for her, and we'll put up the QR code in a bit for the Gratefulness Journey every day so that you can support Autumn on this journey through her 1Ls, 2Ls, 3Ls, as she say, all of this terminology. Autumn, tell us this morning, before I let you go, a couple things. Tell us, what are you grateful for?
well, I'm grateful I woke up this morning, although it's very early. And I'm grateful that I'm able to live out my dream. I think one of my also favorite things to say is that like I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams.
Mhm.
So I'm grateful to be that, I think. Um I'm grateful for my friends that have encouraged me and not let me get down in the dumps about my like journey alone, or like my journey from not going where I thought I would, or how things I thought it would go, and just the encouragement that I got from them during that time. I'm grateful for you, of course, being my parent and advising even when I don't want you to advise, and I may want you to have a bigger role than just advising sometimes. But I'm still grateful for you, and your encouragement. I think like the my favorite like gratefulness moment from the past year has been when I was taking the LSAT for the second time, because I've taken the law school admissions test 3 times in order to get the score that I really wanted. And that was a difficult thing to do, and keep my mind in. But the second time, you like printed out different encouragements because I have testing anxiety. And you printed out a certificate, and it kept me going during my test, even when I wanted to quit during my test, or I got anxious, or I wasn't focused, or I just felt like I couldn't do it. I had that sitting at the table that you made it, like you made the little cards and everything, and I still have them. They're at home. But that was something that I was super grateful to have during the test. And looking back, it's like my most grateful thing that I've been like grateful for during this process of law school admissions. I'm grateful for the acceptance, but it took a lot to get to that acceptance. And so that test, I jumped from um, about 5 points, which is like super big to do, to jump from your first score, your second score, about 5 points. I think that was partly due not only to my studying, but to have those items there for encouragement and just to ground me during a time I needed it most. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm grateful for.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love it. We're talking to Autumn Nicole Davis, who is grateful that she made the wake up list this morning and grateful that she is on her way to becoming an aspiring attorney. And I'm excited for her. As she says, she is her ancestors' wildest dream. Autumn, tell me then, I know you might have some interest in some areas of law and working for a law firm now, which I think is amazing. What has been your thought, or what are your new thoughts around what's the area of law that you might decide to go in? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yes and no.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not exactly sure as to yet what I would like to do. I think in the beginning of becoming attorney, we all like look on TV and we're watching like Annalise Keating, and we're watching Olivia Pope, and they're the fixers, they're the criminal defense. And so I think that is super interesting work. Um, or even like prosecution is interesting work. And there are ways to protect the African American and other marginalized communities while also doing prosecution. But I am also interested in the aspect of protecting the civil rights, and constitutional rights afforded to all people, um, for being a citizen of the United States. So that's interesting as well. So it's really between those two for me. I currently work for a personal injury law firm, meaning we handle medical malpractice, nursing home neglect and abuse, wrongful death cases, fall accidents, motor vehicle accidents. It's interesting. I'm not sure that it's interesting enough for me yet, but it's another form of law that I would possibly consider.
I could see. I mean, the opportunity, the possibilities are unlimited, right? You may get into law school and make new connections that expose you to other areas of the law, taxation, anything might come, I just wanted to see if the little girl whose eyes I'm looking in now is a grown woman to some degree. You're always going to be uncle's baby, but you're a grown woman. And I just wanted to see over the time, you've talked about the marginalized and talked about the underrepresented. And I just love that has continued to be part of the theme for you. And I'm just excited to see, all the places that can go for you. I know that the medical malpractice might make you think of some of the things you saw during caregiving, helping uncle caregive for grandma. And so I know that she is one of those ancestors whose dreams you are fulfilling. And I can just see her cheering on the balcony of heaven um, for you and being so proud of you as I am proud of you. You are sheer joy for Uncle. You've been sheer joy. This journey has been an amazing journey so far, and I believe it will be an amazing journey as you become an attorney and find a husband who's equal to you, and you know provide me some grandchildren.
Please. No.
But
Come on.
along the journey, I am so proud of you and who you are becoming. Somebody maybe, thank you, Lady Veronica. She's saying congratulations to you
Thank you.
um, on Facebook. Thank you so much. Uh, you may um, encounter people as you have done. You've reached forward to people who are ahead of you, which is a great thing to do. There will be people coming from behind. What things will you tell young men and women who are coming behind you and pursuing their goals and dreams about how to stay close to those dreams and goals no matter what adversities you face? What would you say to him or her who's pursuing a similar journey or will at some point?
It's funny you ask that because I'm like, people are reaching out to me now that I've gotten my acceptance to ask what did I do or like what advice I have. I would say stay disciplined, like practice discipline as much as possible. And that's not just scholastically, that's in everyday life, that's in managing your money, that's in managing who you allow in your circle and staying with your own goals and in your own lane and not fixating on what everyone else is doing. um, it's learning that time is relative, and it's different for everyone. Um, so someone may be 5 years ahead of you and where you want to be, but their journey is going to be different than yours. And the amount of time that it took them to get there, whether that had been quicker than the amount of time it takes you to get there, or slower than the amount of time that it takes you to get there, shouldn't matter because your journey is your own. And so you can't fixate your success on someone else's, and how they got there is maybe not going to be how you get there. And there is beauty in the journey that you take to get there. And be grateful for the journey that it takes you to get there because you will get there as long as you stay disciplined, you keep your eyes on the prize, and pray to God. Yeah, that'll be it.
I think that is awesome. I am going to bring up the QR code for the gratefulness journey every day so that is there. And as people are watching now or watch later, you can scan the QR code and it'll take you directly to Amazon. You can purchase the ebook or the paperback. It's a 70-page read. There's a little bit about our sweetie girl. Oh, I didn't tell people that's what I call you. The sweetest sweetie girl in the whole wide world is in the book as well. And at um, the next book in the series that I've been working on and trying to get done is been around our recipes. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that as a kind of a foretaste, because one of the things that I was fortunate enough to do is cook. I learned to cook from both my parents. And I used to cook, as Autumn is smirking, I used to cook a lot more. We've been having a lot of conversations lately about me not cooking because I'm not cooking because she can. Oh, I love this, Veronica. You've been loving Stuff's baby since the beginning, so it's been awesome watching your journey, and you make us so proud to see your love and Stuff journey. Yes, the way you carved out your path. We're gonna root for you all the way till the end. Oh,
Thank
that is so
you.
sweet. Thank you, Lady Veronica. That is so sweet. She is loving Stuff's baby, and especially mine. And I am so proud of the journey. I'm so grateful. She made me a parent. Um, uh, and I would not have wanted to go necessarily the route to become a parent. Autumn and I have always had a great relationship. Even when she was a baby, I babysat her and didn't want other people to hold her, and always bought her these cute little dresses, even when she was a baby. And in church, I'm holding her and kissing her, like, let that baby go. And as she got older, we would go to the parade, which is one of our annual things to do all the time. And I'd come over and I leave, and she says, "No, don't leave," and hold on to my leg. And I say, I'll always
Mhm.
come back. And she got to the place where she would repeat it after me after she sobbed and cried. And I say, "Remember what does Uncle do? You always come back." And I would always come back. And as she got older and her mom passed away, I began to have the opportunity to spend even more time with her. And there would be time we have our a little bedtime song we sing together. Used to sing together. Of course, we're not singing bedtime songs. And I would have done reading to her differently, even though I read the Bible to her. I read Bible stories, the Bible, to her. I would have probably read some other stories in there, but as Autumn says, you're sanctified. You're sanctified. So I would read stories to her, and we had amazing times together and spent a lot of amazing times. It gave me the chance to be a parent, and I don't regret that one moment. I do it a thousand times again. Even though I would want your mommy to be here, I would do 1,000 times again because you have been an absolute joy. I wouldn't have missed a concert, a cheer session. I would do it all again, for my sweetest sweetie girl in the whole wide world, because it has paid off dividends and memories, and who you are today and who I am today. It helped me to open my capacity to love even more and to be patient and understanding. I'm still working on that part, and all of the things. I think it has been a truly tremendous blessing for us both. Um, and I forgot where I was going from that. I lost my note on that, but um, I think it's been amazing. I'm looking forward to be amazing, moving forward, and I'm so excited for you. I don't know, I don't know what to say.
The
I'm so
journey
excited for you, and
continues.
for the journey continues. I'm excited to see the ebbs and flows of the journey. You've just been so crystal clear about this, which is amazing for a parent to see. To see your child have crystal clarity about what he or she wants to do in life, I can't tell you how that waters the garden of my heart to see you say, "Okay, I'm gonna do this," and then do it. "Okay, next I'm gonna do this. Okay, I gotta get this done. I have to do this." And to see you have such clarity about where you want to go, it is so heartening to me because it just says to me, "Hey, you really want this, you really are committed to this." And those are the things that tend to pay off in amazing dividends, Autumn, as I have shared with you before. That discipline, that clarity will take you so far. It has brought you so far. And with God, it'll take you so much farther. And so I'm just so proud of that, and proud of you this morning for getting up a little early for me and coming online. We'll, of course, be going on Amazon and making our round of tours with the book. And I started, thank you. The point that's
Recipe
just come
book?
back is that, yes. And so Uncle cooks, not as much
Barely.
as he used to. And holidays, I decide which holidays I'm
Barely.
cooking now. I used to cook every single holiday. Um, I got away from all of the week cooking after caregiving. I just said, hey, I don't have to do that. And Autumn is older. And all along the journey of all of that cooking that I was doing, caregiving and cooking, which is a part of the book, I taught Autumn to cook all of the things, mostly all of the things that I know how to cook. And even some things I said, oh, let's try this. I always made sure Autumn was in the kitchen with me when I'm cooking. So Autumn knows how to do almost
Except
everything that I know how to do.
lasagna.
Now, she was lasagna. That's the main thing that you don't know how to do that you're going to have to learn how to do. But I wanted to make sure that she could cook. One day she may have a husband and children. If not, she needs to be able to cook for herself because it's important to it helps you save money. You got to monitor what you're eating so you're eating right, got to watch those things that you have a predisposition to that maybe have been handed down, break off anything that's handed down generationally and have healthy lifestyle. I want Autumn to live a healthy long life. And so I'm always talking to her about heart health and, blood glucose and making sure all of those things. And I taught her how to cook. And boy, did she take to cooking. She can really cook. And we cooked together. And there were times we'd be up 2 and 3 in the morning, just playing music and cooking and talking and laughing and singing to the songs and dancing around to Jesus music, as she will tell you. I we haven't really taken the secular tour, but she really learned how to cook well. And one day she was cooking and she was like, okay, I always tell Autumn, write it down. And she would never write it down. She always had just about since she was 9, had a phone. Lord, forgive me. Why did I do that? Because she's tethered to the phone. But I say, Autumn, put it in your iPhone. Talk to Siri. Write it down. Okay, Uncle. She didn't do it. And so we go to cook something, and she said, now, how much of this? And I just look at her because I have been telling her to write it down. So one day she's making macaroni and cheese, and she says, oh, I'm going to, no, I do this next. And I just look like, oh, it's taking. She's getting it. And she's, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, we're going to add this. We'll add this. Oh, we'll do this. And before I'd known it, she had, you know, completed the dish and was ready to put in the oven, had preheated the oven. I said, oh, you do know. She's like, I pay attention sometimes. And I said, we need to write these things down so that we can have these recipes. And we kind of laughed about it. So we ain't letting people know our recipes. But I think the beauty of it is, and we might not give secret ingredients, or we might, we may tell people the basics. But the beauty of it is, it's really me handing down to Autumn what was handed to me. I never learned my dad's fried green tomatoes or his fried chicken. I don't really fry well because I never really did that. My dad, it just didn't make sense to me as long as my dad was living and able to, for anybody else to fry chicken. It just does not make sense. My dad could fry anything. He could fry your foot and you would eat it. He would just have a way with frying. I didn't learn that. I didn't get that part. But everything else, pretty much from him and mostly my mom, I got those things. Nah, I didn't really get baking. I can bake, but I don't really spend a lot of time baking. But I said, this is a way to hand down to Autumn that wonderful um, tradition of food preparing that happened in our family every Sunday, but also every holiday. So I decided that I was not going to cook every holiday. And so they didn't believe me. Okay. So last year I didn't cook Memorial Day and they were like, what in the world is this? What has happened? And I said, well, you can cook. And this past New Year's, unfortunately, I had contracted COVID. And Autumn had to make the hoghead cheese, which she makes from scratch. We make from scratch, which is one of the traditions in our family. My dad and my mom at points made hoghead cheese from the hog head, right? So we didn't buy souse or hoghead cheese from the store. We made it. And I made this hoghead cheese one year, and I was like, we're making it, and the tongue is falling from the base, and I was like, this is disgusting. But after she got over that, nope, the tongue is still tough, Uncle. We still got to boil. So she picked it up this year, or this past New Year's. She made it all by herself, seasoned and everything. And I think it was the best we had ever made. At least some of the people I shared it with said, "Oh, what did you do differently?" I said, "I didn't. Autumn made this. Oh, this is just the best. This is delicious." I said, "That almost hurt my feelings. She did better than me." But that's what I want. And so Autumn can cook just about everything. And she has the basics to cook anything. And so I said, we need to write these down and make a kind of an ode to your grandmother and grandfather. And so the next book in the Gratefulness Journey series is about food. It's about family. It's about connection. It's about love. And I often tell Autumn, you have to cook with love. And I got that from her grandmother. Um, and I think it's important that whatever you do, you put some love in it. And Autumn has learned to do that with all of the foods that she prepares. And so she's like, I'm going to leave and you're not even cooking every holiday. And it's just, I just don't understand. I may not get your food for 3 years. You may not get my food again because you'll be cooking it. But I'm so heartened that she likes cooking and likes my cooking. I think she more likes not to have to cook, but she says she likes my cooking. Um, and I'm excited to do the recipes. Are there any recipes in your mind, Autumn, that you're like, this recipe stands out? This thing that we prepared was our favorite thing to do. What's the favorite thing to you?
Mm, I think you already said it. It's mac and cheese or greens or I don't know. I like a lot of stuff that we make.
Yeah.
Mainly you make because I just like that you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Or dressing. I think dressing is the one that takes the longest for us because we don't get it out the box.
Mm-hmm.
We start from the very beginning with the crouton. Well, we can't tell all the secrets,
Right.
but yeah, we start from the beginning. And
Right.
so out of the process, the thing that takes to me almost the longest, like prep time, would be the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
That I
Yeah.
feel like is my favorite side
Mm-hmm.
besides the mac and cheese and greens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does take, there is a special prep, I think, to it, even though you can use all types of bread in your dressing if you want. And I think that's how we will share in our recipe some recommended breads that we say, but maybe we might not give all of it. Don't I think we just gave a part of it. So we will probably, do that. But um and my favorite to of course to watch you make is the mac and cheese because you kind of have a science to it now, and it's like, Autumn's really good at this. My favorite to watch you eat are the greens because you love greens. I love that. Um, and one of the things that I think you probably really make well is spaghetti. You make really great mac and cheese, but you really make really great spaghetti.
Yeah, that's my other favorite. That's my favorite food.
Yeah, you make great spaghetti. And I'd probably eat your spaghetti before eating my spaghetti.
Dang, that's crazy. I would eat your spaghetti before I eat mine.
Yeah, it's good spaghetti. I love it. I love it that you picked up these things. And I know you aren't necessarily saying, "Oh, I'm going to have children. I'm getting married." But if you had children, let's just say if you had children,
That's a
do you
huge if.
do you think that you would spend the kind of time cooking with your children that I spent with you?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I would want to pass down the traditions that you gave to me just for your health. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you would want you want your children to say, my great uncle or my granddad,
They
he used to.
papa.
Yes, my papa, my very handsome, fine papa. He used to make these dishes with my mommy. And even if I am not around, that they would still be able to say, oh, this is my papa's recipe. Oh, watch this. You got to put this in there. What joy that would bring to me to know that you're passing it down as well, right? Because I feel like it's a treasure trove that I've handed down to you that You'll never be hungry because you know how to cook. And if your spouse is like, "Oh, wow, my mama really cooks," and you say, "Well, that's wonderful. I love it. But let me show you how I prepare it. Let's see if you like this." And I believe any spouse would be like, "Oh my goodness, I've she can cook, she's smart, she's beautiful, she can sing, she can do all of these things." And I think that cooking just rounds it out. It's not because you're the woman. If you were a son, I would have taught you how to cook. So that a wife could have said, "Oh, he's smart, he's handsome," because smart and handsome automatically comes from the loins. Smart and handsome and um, talented and can cook. I think that's really important. It is a way to convey the love in a home. It helps to build the love in a home. And so I just wondered if you would share those things. So we're going to share, I think we're going to come up to about 10 recipes in there and stories that we will share that go along with those 10 recipes in the hopes that people will get back to the art of cooking or the love to cook. I think you have to have a love for it. You can't just do it, I think. But people do just do it. And I think it tastes better when there's love in it. And so I wanted to mention that. Veronica says, "I'm going to let my our daughter see this interview so that she can be inspired to keep going on in her undergrad journey because she's having a challenging time pushing forward." So thank you for sharing. That's awesome, Autumn. That's awesome. I hope that there will be many young women, you being a member of the Delta Theta sorority. Now I can say it because there was a time I guess I couldn't have said it when you were pledging, but now I can say it. You're a member of that organization. It's about sisterhood. I'm sure there are many sisters that are going to be coming behind you that will want to walk in your hallowed steps of journey to say, "I'm going to become this in the world and contribute this to the world." So support Autumn. 100% of the net proceeds go to Autumn for the next 60 days. So we want to encourage everybody to get this book so that we can um, handle all of the things that we need to handle. Autumn's going to be mm, very far away from me. And so I want to make sure that everything is in place and situated for this young woman who, as she says, "I'm trying to be more an advisor." I think my role now that she is an adult is more advisory than it is, "Do this, Autumn. Don't do
Or
that. Do
just do
this."
it for me.
And so it's more advisory, as I was saying, versus doing it for you. It is now you can do it for yourself. Now you can cook for yourself. Now you can manage this. You can do this. You can make these decisions. And I'm here to advise you in that decision. I know it's an interesting new awkward space for us because you are used to me saying, "Okay, Autumn, do this," or "I did this." And now we have, you know, with time, you're showing me that you're responsible and you can handle business and you got a business mind like your mom had a business mind, and you know how to network and connect and make things happen. And it is a joy to watch you do that, even though I know there are times you're like, "Am I doing the right thing?" And you're learning. Adulting is about trying something and iterating to determine, okay, I need to change that. I need to tweak that. So, and sometimes there is some trepidation around, am I making the right decision? Oh, I should have done that. But you learn so much about decision making and yourself in doing that. So I'm excited and, just hanging on, okay, what do we do? But I'm so excited. So I am going to let you go to get your day started. I am so
Thank
proud of
you.
you and I love you so much. And I want everyone to support Autumn in her ascend to law school. It's the next level, and I am grateful. And I hope that anybody that has heard this message this morning or will hear it throughout the day, that you will go after your dreams. You will create the kind of discipline that you've heard Autumn talk about, the kind of resilience, even in a pandemic, that she evidenced, and the kind of faith that will carry you forward to the unlimited possibilities and potentialities that await you. It's been a gratefulness journey moment with the HR Passion Guy and his sweetest sweetie girl in the whole wide world, who is Autumn Nicole Davis. of whom I am well pleased. Have a grateful morning and grateful day. Thank you, Autumn, for joining me.
Bye.